All right. So we're gonna see if this thing's gonna. Let's see. Happy Friday, everybody. Oh goodness. Okay, Chuck, I've invited you, buddy. I think you have to accept it. I think that's how we do it. Let's see. There we do. Bam.
Bam!
Bam. 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 Okay, where's Del Taco at? You already finished it? That's a shame. Not demolished. Dang.
Why not?
Okay, well, hey, I mean, I hear you.
Why not?
Mm.
Yeah,
What's this?
two top.
What's what is what is this?
I had two top.
Uh-oh. Think you froze, brother. You froze for a minute. You said two tacos and you froze. What happened?
Now you're froze.
One of them things. Let's see. I wonder if that's you that's showing it's online. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a good test run. Good, good. Just I think it depends on where in the house. You know what I mean? Like right now you're frozen.
So are you? Okay.
Okay, it's moving.
Yeah, it's freezing one of us at a time, I believe.
Mm, okay. Good to know. So notice that nobody else is watching but me and you. So that's good. But I don't know if it's showing that we're on live. So let me see.
It says live,
Yeah, but I don't know if it
like launched.
well, it's definitely a live thing, but I don't know if everyone could see it is what I
Oh,
was wondering. So let me see if I have it on here some kind of oh no, wait, no, that's you probably. No, it's still showing you as the person that's watching. So trying to see here. Oh, okay. Well, you're gone. You're gone. There we go. And you're back.
yeah,
Thanks.
yeah. I just hit the back button to see what it would do.
I think this is good though. It's a good opportunity just to say, okay, if we did it this way, this is how it's going to look. Oh, okay. Look, hey, Vonnie, what's going on, Sister Vonnie? Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for letting us know that you could see the light. Jesus, Vonnie Ball. Yes, 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 yes. So see at the bottom, Vonnie, we're just testing this out. At the very bottom, you see where it says Vonnie Bowles is watching and bring them on camera. So now we know invite you. Then if you came on, then I could invite you then.
Mm.
So now
I
we
don't have
know.
I don't have that.
Oh, you don't see it?
No.
Huh. Okay. I wonder if you started it, then if that would be the case. Hey, Vonnie Bowles. What's going on? Vonnie, I don't think I've seen you, girl, since
I
some
no.
somewhere in the 80s. Look, somewhere in the 80s. I can't remember how long ago. It probably was at Eisenhower the last time I saw you. Terrible. Look, she ain't said hi directly to me, but she said hi to you, Chuck. See how this is? See how it goes?
Because that's my girl. I mean, come on now. I'm,
That's how we doing this? That's how this gonna
I'm,
go? Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm just. It is what
I mean, do I need to I'll trade places with Roscoe.
it is. What it is.
I will trade places with him.
But anyway,
Yes, indeed.
now that
Um,
she said, "Hey, I'm blessed." Good, good.
amen.
Amen.
Amen, amen. Three people at one point and now back to two. So I don't know. And I know you're freezing. So this is a good run. If you're telling me that I'm freezing too, I'm wondering what it might be because,
You're
which is
not
making
freezing.
me wonder. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you move it. You're moving now.
yeah. Yep. Um, It's been easily 20 years, Vonnie. Easily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good, good, good.
20 plus.
So, come on. It has to be.
30.
Because if our oldest is in their 30s, yeah. What Sean Golden is watching. Sean Golden. Brother Sean. What's going on, big brother Sean?
Hey, Sean's living that Georgia life like me. You know how that
Yeah,
is.
buddy. Look, I seen Sean on TikTok and said, "What's going on?" Him and his wife doing the food truck thing. Big things, big things. Big Daddy Sean Golden. I think that's what he called it. I said, "You better go ahead, Sean. Ain't mad at it." Solis Carr. You better come on here, Solis. Now that's somebody I really ain't seen. I have not seen since the 80s somewhere. Good to see you, brother Solis. If it's not freezing on your end, Vonnie, then I don't know. But between me and what's going on, Sean? Between me and Chuck's picture, when we look at each other, it'll freeze periodically. So, hey, of course we remember you, Solis. You know, look. Okay, I got a Solis story. So we was all at Frisbee. I don't remember who, what, but we were at the dance at Frisbee, and it was probably 8th grade, I want to say. So remember, you look, everybody remembers the song or the dance, "The Freak," right?
Mm.
This is like some real. What's our movie? What's our movie? The
The
Wood.
wood.
This is like a real Wood
Okay.
moment, okay?
Okay.
And the moment in the movie where they both, the little couples dancing, they both freaking, the girls just backing it up. So Lee's car had one of their
Oh,
moments.
yeah.
And I'll never forget, like Mr. Brooks or somebody came over and split it up. Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Am I still?
Okay, you're good now.
Okay. What's his name? Mr. Brooks came over and the principal and split it up. Like, yeah, no, we're not having any parts of that.
Well, you know
And I
what?
laughed because I said, huh?
This just might be the dance episode, that little trial run, because Bonnie know how to get down too. So Bonnie, yeah, we got the
Bonnie
dancers. I ain't
did.
got no rhythm.
Look, Bonnie was probably
Yeah,
dancing with Solis now. Think
yeah.
about
I
it.
don't have no rhythm, so I ain't gonna lie to you. I held up the wall,
Jeez.
the 2-step.
Diana, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. James Rollins, what's going on, big brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. Chuck and I are just checking this out, so we're glad that you guys jumped on just to kind of peek at us to see what we're over here doing. But no, Solis, if you're still on, that's my Solis. I'll never forget that. Like, they're over there doing the
He
freak.
said, "Hey, I remember that." See, yeah.
And he politely came, yeah, there you go. And he politely came over there and said, not having any of that. I said, Mr. Brooks is a hater. They were just dancing, but everybody was kind of surrounded. It was, look, where Vonnie at? Vonnie, was that you? That was probably you, girl. Because you was a dancing fool back then. So it was probably Vonnie. Either way, it was good times. Good times, good times, good times. I feel like everyone that's joined the live all went to Eisenhower. Yeah, Sean. Those were the days. Oh my gosh, look. Dolores Nunez. Look, we're going back to Morgan. Hey, Dolores. Yeah, that's Solis car, James, all day. Look, I thought you knew, bro. Thought you knew. So, yes, indeed. This is maybe we should explain why we jumped on this live, brother Chuck. What's the purpose of us jumping on here?
Oh, you gonna ask me?
Absolutely,
Well,
because you can't let me do all the talking.
um, I just thought basically, we have these conversations and we just go from one thing to the next. I figured, you know what, just share it with the world. That's all.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Jason, Bonnie couldn't dance.
He lying. Look, we didn't see. Look, Jamie, we didn't see you out there, Jamie. We did not see you out there dancing. You was
Nah,
holding up a wall or two. So
hey,
no, you tried, brother.
James cool. You just, there's some people that don't have to. They just my
Jamie,
presence alone.
Jamie needed to dance. Jamie, we all out there. We had to do something. So I'm just saying. Now that I think about it, if my memory suits, and y'all know my memory is pretty decent, I think it was Solis and Vonnie out there. Now I really think about it, that might might be about right. Okay, doing the freak. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't at the hello dance, because I think we were all at that first dance. Yes, indeed. Wow. Wow, 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 wow.
That
Let me
you're gonna make me
go
tell
ahead.
them stuff because I try to go early so I can try to get in for free. You know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you hang out by the little snack bar. Yeah, yeah,
Terrible.
yeah.
Terrible.
I mean that's one of the benefits of not being a big guy. You know, you can kind of slip in and slip out easily.
Well, okay, let me ask a question because we got people on. Who remembers, because I think all of us were at these dances. Who remembers going to their very first dance? Let's actually put that as a poll question. Um, I'm gonna actually put it in here. Chuck, do you remember going to your first dance?
I sure do.
Uh, do you remember which one was it?
The first dance.
What was it called? Do you remember?
I get to say the first dance. Oh, I didn't miss one. Matter of fact, I know. I did miss one. I got in trouble. So I did miss one.
You missed one.
Yeah, I missed one. Yeah, I missed one. I missed one in the 3 years I was there.
Did you?
Yeah.
What's Vonnie saying? I was one of the best dancers at Ike. Well, girl, we done went back to Frisbee. We don't even try that. Don't even try it. DJs at lunchtime. Yes, indeed. I'm curious. Does anyone homecoming? Yes, ma'am. Does anybody remember my brother coming up to DJ up at Eisenhower back in '85? My brother Dane. Anybody remember that?
I think everybody was a DJ back in the day.
At some point.
Everybody had some turntables in it with a Newmark mixer.
All I know is the DJs at lunchtime, that brought everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. I remember Barry. What's Brother Barry's last name? He graduated in '85.
Oh, Wallace.
Barry Wallace was out just dancing, da 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 da. You know, Barry and Elgin remind me a lot of each other, just about the dancing, their dancing prowess. You know what I mean? But yeah. But let me go back because I don't want to go too far. That question was up for a minute, Chuck. So just to let you know. Okay. Thank you to, it looks like Bonnie and probably Sean to answer the question. I'm curious. Bonnie said homecoming was the dance she remembers. Sean, do you remember the dance that you went to? I know mine was the hello dance, 7th grade, Frisbee, for sure. For sure.
Hello dance.
Yeah, that's what it was called. Because it was a chance for the 7th graders to come and mix, with the older kid type thing.
She said
So,
she was cold, so
you went to Cole? I didn't know Bonnie went to Cole.
neither did I. That's new to me. See?
I'm like, Bonnie, I feel like you was with us the whole time. So I am. Wow. Wow, 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 wow.
About transform.
Well, okay. Are you gonna put your Letterman
Oh
on, Chuck?
no,
I caught him.
Oh no, but it's cold down here in Georgia though.
I feel you out here too. If I can ask for everybody that's online right now, again, we're just having conversations and we're just kind of reminiscing at this point. But it's good to see everybody that's jumped on here. Where is everybody currently living at? So that's an even better question. Anybody? Where you currently living? Sean saying, yeah, it's cold in Georgia. We must have sent the snow in y'all's direction if you got snow. We sent it down to y'all.
No, we ain't getting no snow yet.
Yeah, well, it's
the temperature.
today it was 11. Yesterday it was 7. So Augusta, all right now. Bonnie, where are you at, baby girl? Where are you out of right now? I am in Kansas. Fontucky? Bonnie, you in Fontucky? All right now. Chuck, you down in
Columbus.
the great state of Georgia,
Yeah, Columbus.
Columbus. Now, tell the good folks, how far away is that from Augusta?
About 3.5 hours. 3.5 hour drive.
Uh-oh. You said 3.5?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty much on the Alabama border, and Augusta's pretty much on the South Carolina border.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sean, do you ever make it to Charlie's neck of the woods? Oh, 200 miles, he said.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's a little bit of driving.
Yes, it is.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Hey, Maria. That's what Oh, dang. So he said, I won the talent show. I remember that. Yep, he's in Vegas.
You know what? Solis car. Where your sister at? That's what I want to know. Where Nicole at? Get Nicole up on here. I need to talk to Nicole. Sean, I seen on TikTok that you and your wife were doing big things with the food truck. I need to check y'all out. I got to make sure I check y'all out. So I want to make it a point, when we come through Georgia, to make sure that we get together with you. Obviously, I'm gonna get together with Chuck because that's my kid's godfather. But anyway, should I bust you out right now and say, let's see how many people on here? 7. Should I bust you out right now and say, I guess, why did I pick you as their godfather? Should I have that whole conversation, or should I leave that for a different day?
You know what? Dig in. I don't even know
Yes, Lord.
said we need to do this live anyway. We have these conversations, so now everybody's privy to our peanut butter and jelly buddy conversations.
Hey, listen, PB&J was the stuff.
I know.
I bet you there's some people on this live right now that still eat PB&J. Sean, I got you covered, brother. I got you covered. When I come, I'm coming through for sure. I want to get up with you and your wife.
But yeah,
people. I'm sure.
Why did you pick me?
So you want to know?
I never asked the question. I just said okay.
Because Michael Smallwood wasn't available. Look, Magic wasn't available, so I had to go with my second choice.
So I'm a. Oh wow.
Look, I had to go down the list. Mike wasn't available. I couldn't get a. Yeah. You was back up to the backup. Absolutely.
I guess I learned a valuable lesson. Don't ever ask a question unless you prepare for an answer.
Come on now. I'm just saying, brother. I'm just saying. Who do we have on the live right now checking in with us? I see Sean. I see Maria. Chuck, obviously. Trip Jones.
Yep.
Solis Vaughn.
Be a D-backs. Now, you talking about a funny dude. Trip Jones is a funny, he's a knowledgeable, but he's a funny character.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, Lisa, you said Nicole is in Sacramento. Okay, she's in Sacktown. Definitely make sure that we catch up to her too. Okay, Sean. Thank you for putting that out there, brother. Matter of fact, send that information to me like an instant message, so that way I can go into it. But yeah, I definitely want to make sure that we are able to take a peek at that. You said littlemamasweets.com. Absolutely. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, Sharon, how you doing, sister girl? Good to see you. I'm trying to see how many people have checked in already. Again, we got Sean, we got Maria, Chuck, Trip, Solis, Vonnie, and then Sharon also. So good stuff. Good stuff.
We got the church folks on too, so we got it.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen. Always. Absolutely. Always gonna be respectful.
Absolutely.
Even though we see Solis doing the freak dance with Vonnie in 8th grade, but other than that, that's about it.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things. One of those. But you know what? We all have skeletons.
So doing the freak in 8th grade was at the school dance.
I mean, I'm proud of him that he actually admitted to it. That right there shows me that he's got some guts. I'm not gonna admit
I
it.
mean, well, listen. So Lisa was the one that put himself out there on some, one of the best dancers and winning talent shows. So he left himself open. I understand. Yep.
What he said was true, though.
Tis true. And Vonnie, whether she likes it or not, oh yeah, she was getting it. We love her. She was getting it. Not that you passing the collection plate, Sean. I just want to know who's going to be counting the tithes. Who's collecting it? Who's going to be counting them tithes? That's what I want to know. So yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
touch. I can tell you that right now. I don't touch money. So I'll have to let somebody else do that.
Now let me ask this:
when you work for the state, those are two rules. You don't touch the money. You don't touch children.
Absolutely, ain't no wrong with it. Ain't no wrong with it. Again, let me check in real quick and see who's kind of peeking at us, Mr. Red. Sean, you, so Lise, Vonnie, myself. So I think we have people that are kind of coming back and forth, and that's cool. Just knowing that we're on and people seeing like, hey, that person's live, just knowing people are checking in to say, hey, I wonder what they're over there talking about. Come through. That's what I'm talking about. So again, the thought is you and I talk frequently. I think I was telling Vinny, that's who we really should have on here. Oh, the math savant himself.
Yeah.
I think I was telling him that, I probably talk to him once every whatever it is. Okay, Sean, good to see you, brother. Appreciate you. Don't forget to go ahead and put your tithe in the collection plate on your way out, brother. We appreciate you. Okay. But I think I was telling Vinny, with the exception of talking to him, I feel like every couple of months, I'm like, me and Chuck checking about once a month or so. If not more, but on average, about once a month or whatever it is. So for me, this kind of makes sense because of the fact that I reference you for various things, and I love doing that because you're the introvert. I'm like, people already know. Thank you, brother Sean. If you still online, thank you. I got the message. People think that oh well, yeah, Charlie, we remember him, blah 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 blah. But so I'm like, yeah, that's what y'all think. So let's go ahead and put him out here. Like, let's put his picture out here. Let's put a little stir behind. How about that? No, I wouldn't. I've only put you on blast twice in the past couple of months.
See, that's one of the good things about well, it's good and bad, but that's one of the good things about living in different places. You get a chance to reinvent yourself everywhere you go. So I'm different from my New York.
You're not referring to me. I know you're not referring to me, right?
You get the chance to reinvent yourself. So here, all of a sudden, now you're having these worlds collide.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. At the end of the day, I feel like for the people that we are talking to, or the people that, in this case, will check in, a lot of these people know us from then, and so therefore, what people's memories are exactly what they are. And I genuinely feel like the person that you were, we've talked about this, what you projected, that is who you are. Yeah, people are gonna get on here and trip out and say, dang, he smoked cigarettes, he was an athlete, blah blah blah, because I tripped out on that too at first. But I'm like, we in our 50s, do what you do. It's not like you out trying to do a 4-4 40. You're not doing 3 a days. Them days are gone. So
It's more
yeah,
6'4" now.
At least it's in the single digits, brother.
Hey, speed kills. Speed kills. So it's gone.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
Yeah, you'd have to put me out there like that. But anyway, the other thing about it is, again, with the worlds colliding, we got to come up with some topics. I mean, I'm itching to, especially we had the young ladies on. I'm itching really to talk about this whole revolution that we're experiencing right now. But I guess we'll save that for another day.
Well, I mean, we don't have to. If you want to jump in on the topic, and actually, there's a way that you can put the topic in a question. I'm trying to see the word. Oh, at the very bottom of the screen, you see to the left, it has these little lines,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a little chart. You can go in and actually put a question in, and people can respond to it, and it has a timeline on it.
Okay.
So yeah, that's not. But what topic do you want to talk about? Let's go ahead and jump into one. You don't want to talk about a topic?
Okay. I mean, the one thing that actually fascinates me, and we've had this conversation before, is, you know, our generation and most everybody on this call or on this line right now is in between, you know, 40 and you know, 50 something. And so we're the ones who have actually witnessed the change. So
Yes.
things that used to be abnormal are now normal, and things that used to be normal are now abnormal. And we're responsible for that. We're responsible for much of that. So again, in terms
Yes.
of what's happening right now, in terms of all the revolutions that are going on, we're smack dab in the middle.
Yes.
So I guess the question is that why? Why do you think that's the case? Why do you think that happened?
Okay. So ask it specifically in a question
You.
that's
I'm not asking.
palatable.
I'm asking you. Why do you think that happened?
Ask the question again.
Okay. This goes back to the book that I'm writing. Okay. The culture of
Now, everyone notice what he's saying. Everyone, all five of you that's on
Yeah.
here. He's writing a book.
Oh, I've been writing the book for like the last 20 years. But anyway, the culture of irresponsibility.
Yes.
Okay. My conversation with Mr. Achu. He's an African guy. So we start talking about tradition versus what's happening right now. So
Yes.
the question is that I ask you, I pose to you, Tanya Hill Mason, T Money. Why do you think that's happened? That things that used to be abnormal are now normal, and things that used to be normal are now abnormal?
Well, and I don't mind answering that, but I also want to make sure that we open it up to everybody that's joined the live. No, but just so that they can answer in chat. But I'm going to answer. Okay. I feel like we talked about, part of the problem is people's willingness of acceptance, if that makes sense. They're willing to accept what culturally is the latest and greatest thing, and it almost gets shoved down your throat. You know, it literally gets shoved down your throat until you're almost forced to feel like, okay, this is now the new norm, even though it was completely taboo or whatever, like we talked about earlier. You know, but if it's forced down your throat to the point where you have to change your mind, you either have to get on board or get off. It's one or the other. And if you don't get on board, then you're going to be last man standing out here. So you just kind of have to just go along with it, type thing. I didn't say it was right, but I genuinely feel like that's part of it. You know, largely in part, the things that we experienced when all of us were younger aren't things that are the norm today.
Okay. So for example, okay, with no cell phones, no
yes,
internet, no text messaging, you could do something, and by the time you got home, your parents A, already knew, and B, you were actually reprimanded along the way.
yeah.
Now, if you see little Johnny doing something and you even attempt to intervene, Johnny's going to tell you where to go, and it's not a good place, that he's going to tell you where to go. And then by the time he gets home, his parents are going to be approaching you saying, why'd you even have the audacity to talk to my child?
Well, but it's also a generational thing too. Like you and I talked about earlier, our parents' generation and their parents that did that. You know, people were different back in the days. You know, I feel like we're the last generation that really parents took into account chastising. You know, whooping. Let's just call it whippings. You know what I mean? Not just punishment and timeout, and because I feel like that's our kids' generation. You know, whatever happened somewhere along the road, and all of a sudden it became, oh, it's cool just to put him in timeout. That's not how I was raised. Because Russell was getting to me. Do you hear me? Mr. Russell, God rest his soul. Me and Dane was getting the business, especially Dane, because, you know, I learned from the best. I knew what not to do watching, you know, his shenanigans. But That doesn't happen nowadays. And the minute it came along that children could say, I want to either call the police or I'm being abused. When that became a thing and there was no proof, parents kind of became punks. In my mind, you kind of became punks at that point.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, I got a whooping, but look how I turned out, brother. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I spanked my kids, but look at the proof. The proof is right there. Stephen and Kenneth have never had any problems. Just in this never ever done because of the fact that I was present, number one, right? Mm-hmm. Always present. Will and I have been present in these kids' lives. And number two, we spanked them kids. There's not a doubt in my mind. They was getting some whoopings. Mm-hmm. They was getting some thumpings because that's what we got. But look how we turned out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying.
It's so here we are now. We have to do what? We have to try to reclaim.
Yes.
Have we moved too far to actually reclaim?
Again, we go back to the generational conversation. Our children who are now, or at least mine are in their 30s, yours are close to 30s, or right there. They were raised, unfortunately, knowing that they could cry foul very quickly. Who was I gonna call when I was getting the death stare by Mr. Russell? Who was I? I mean, you knew my daddy. Who was I gonna call? I mean, I couldn't even call my mama. Because she was like, hey, that's between you and your dad. Hey, shouldn't have done it. There's consequences, repercussions, right? Mm-hmm. But who could we have called? We weren't going to call the neighbor, like you said. Go ahead.
Again, it goes back to accountability. I mean, since my parents were both in education, like I said, there were two places that you could not mess up. For me, it was school and church.
Yes.
What I'm talking about is that whole village concept. That yes. Sister so-and-so, the deaconess or the usher, she can put it on you, and then by the time your mom got you, your mom might be the third person to give it to you, or even again from the time you this was with no cell phones, no internet, no text messaging. Somehow by the time you got home, they already knew. But that's after you'd already been disciplined along the way.
Let's go back for a second. The real reality is, because I remember your block, right? The cul-de-sac. I remember your block, right? You was across the street from me. Mm-hmm. Terrace Road was open. Soon as I cut across Winchester, across Pepper, off of Winchester, and I stepped my toe down on Terrace Road, I had a whole bunch of people's eyes looking at me. A lot of people looking at me. And trust me, the day that I decided to go and hang out with one of my girlfriends up off of Winchester over by Dean Martin's house, the day that I did that and didn't make that phone call to my mama because I didn't have my number memorized back then, by the time I hit that block, I heard it from all parents were standing outside. Everybody was at the door in the yard. I was like, wow, is it a parade? I mean, it was something. It was something. And by the time my mother got to me, all the worry from the neighbors, by the time my mother got to me, snatched me up and took me in the house. I'm like, I already got it. The tongue lashing, whatever, I already got it. Mm-hmm. Already got it. Mm-hmm. And then don't let Russell get in there because he had to get his licks in too.
Okay.
Worrying my mama half to death, Yeah. Just saying. Look, for those that have joined in, hey, Joanne, see you, sister girl. Good to see you. For those of y'all that think that we had some kind of a great upbringing, and we did. Not gonna say we didn't, because it's made us who we are today. But it was tough. It was hard in them streets north of Baseline, off of Pepper. them streets was a little rough sometimes, a little bit. So, but what are your thoughts behind it? You asked the question about the new norm, and I really feel like it's people shoving it down our throats and forcing us to accept it, whether we like it or not. And it's like the old saying, majority rules. Mm-hmm. And the majority have now changed their mindset on what they consider to be normal. So they're force feeding it to you.
Well, I mean, and you're right. Again, I can't debate that. You make some very, very valid points. And even people who've chimed in kind of said the same thing. So you're absolutely right. Without being respectful, I really believe that our generation, because it's really our generation, we became PA parents, punk A parents. And I can just speak for myself, being a little transparent. Grew up in an environment where the cleanest place in my house was my garage. And I could tell you it was my garage because that was my responsibility every Saturday to take everything out the garage, soap it down, clean it out. And we had no blowers or nothing, so you had to actually let it dry. And then while it was drying, wash my dad's car, get the white walls, don't leave a single black strip on those white walls. Well, when you grow up like that, again, it instills discipline in you because you have to, utilize time management because you still want to play with your friends and everything else. Even my friends, when they had to vacuum their carpet, they had to vacuum where the lines actually matched. You could tell that the carpet's been vacuumed. But I think what happened to us is that growing up that type of way, that we said, you know what, we don't want our kids to go through that.
Right.
But that's actually what made us who we are.
It is, but you said you're going to take some accountability.
Yeah.
Now, you and I had a conversation, just being transparent. We had a conversation a few months ago. And again, to catch everybody up that's on this call, obviously, Charlie is very dear to me, blah, 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 blah. Anyone that knows me knows that, blah, blah, blah. He's my kid's godfather. Okay, great. Still don't know why I picked him. Yeah, like I said, Michael Smallwood wasn't available. Greg Creighton wasn't available, so I had to go with Chuck.
Okay, I'll take it.
But hey, Bobby Sanchez, we see you, Bobby Sanchez, on here watching. Come on, Bobby, with your good-looking self. Being transparent, you and I talked about the difference in our parenting skills and how I was saying, well, this is what I did with Stephen Kennedy. Like, yeah, nah, really, I wouldn't do that, da-da-da-da, and obviously it's fair to say that. The one thing I could think that all of us can say across the board from our generation is that we did get chastised and or spankings, whoopings, whatever you want to call it. Our parents was putting hands, right? They was laying hands on us and not in a Christian way, okay? But with that, or like Sister Sabrina just said, we had things to do. I had chores. How many of us, this is a question we need to ask, how many of us got up on a Saturday morning, Chuck, you know this already, Saturday morning, right? Before you even eat a meal or get a drink, you had to start writing on your chores, whatever that looked like, whatever that might have looked like. Because I know I was a dusting, vacuuming, cleaning up rooms, stripping beds, blah, blah, blah. Dane was going outside, mowing lawns, whatever that looked like, before you could even eat a meal.
Yes.
Don't even look in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Don't even look.
Yes.
Get your work done.
I think that's where they got the Army slogan. We do more before 6 a.m. than most people do all day. That
Absolutely.
Was me. That was me. And so, absolutely. So again, you start to ask yourself, okay, I grew up that way. And one of the greatest examples came from Pastor Chuck Singleton. He told a story when I was about 12 years old in church one day, a part of his sermon. And he was talking about the transition of a moth into a butterfly. And he said this little 12-year-old boy saw the moth struggling. So he took a little razor blade, and as the moth was trying to come out of the cocoon, he actually just kind of thought he'd help him out a little bit, and he cut the cocoon open a little bit to allow the moth to get through the little opening a little easier. And what he said that was profound was he said, that little boy, not knowing, he thought he was helping the little moth, he actually doomed him to death because the change that happens when the moth goes through, or the butterfly, the caterpillar goes through the change, moving through that little small canal, turning into a butterfly or a moth, it allows all the moisture out of their wings. So then actually they come out of the cocoon, a minute or two later, they can fly.
Right.
Since the little boy cut it open, thought he was helping, he actually doomed him because the moisture stayed in the wings and therefore the moth couldn't fly. So how long do you think a moth is going to last that can't fly?
Right. Not very long.
Not very long. So what I'm saying is that, our upbringing, although it was very, very challenging, it was full of discipline. It made us who we are today.
But
And
look
that's
at the
what we
society we live
collected
in now.
together. Huh?
Look at the society that we're living in right now.
Exactly.
Now, what
Exactly.
you and I talked about earlier was knowing that we are now our age range in our 50s, mid 50s.
Mhm.
We were the change agents, right, to what this new norm is, or at least the beginning of the norm, because it's now morphed into something else. Because the younger generation, they're coming in and they're implementing changes, right? So the things that we experienced in our youth, our kids don't understand.
No.
You know, you maybe didn't spank your kids. I got with mine. I ain't gonna lie. Because again, at some point it became almost taboo, keep using the word, for parents to spank their kids. How are you spanking? How are you disciplining kids? Just have them stand in the corner and time out, or just talk to them. I was talked to as I was getting my behind whooped. I heard them. Yeah, there
Again,
was still
no marks or
conversation going.
no marks or bruises. But yes,
Absolutely.
and it basically stayed. And my mother, I ain't gonna lie, God rest her soul, she was a master with the belt. And and people said, "Where'd you get your football moves from?" It was actually dodging the belt.
Come
And she
on.
made sure she hit from basically the waist to the base of my knees, and she did it with precision. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying that, again, and with that change also comes something else. Back in the day, we used to go trick-or-treating 3-4 miles away from the house. Now you can't go 3-4 miles away from your own house without worried about if you're going to get shot or not.
Listen.
So within in the last, what, 40 years, we've gone from trick-or-treating miles away from your house, again, no cell phone, no text messaging, no nothing, to now you have to be concerned if you're going to the grocery store or not.
Well, and you mentioned trick or treating. I mean, again, with everybody that's on the live right now, how many people remember going trick or treating? You tell your mom, okay, I'm dressed and I'm going to go ahead and go. Whether you had a bag, one of the little colorful bags, or you had your what's the name, pillowcase, whatever it was,
Pillowcase.
whatever it was, yep, whatever it was. But you were able to hit so many neighborhoods. I mean, again, for those that don't know where Charlie and I lived at, in Rialto, we were probably as far east, I guess, as you could be before you hit kind of the San Bernardino sign. So off of Pepper and Baseline, that neighborhood north of that, I saw people like my brother Dane. I swear Dane walked all the way up to Eisenhower.
Yeah.
Every neighborhood between where we was at to Eisenhower, I'm sure Dane hit.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom wasn't worried about him, blah, blah, blah. He went trick-or-treating. That's it. That's it.
So again, how do you go from, again, walking miles as a 12-year-old to go trick-or-treating? You have to go into the grocery store.
True. Keep it within the perspective of trick-or-treating as well. You now have parents. This is another thing too. People like to, because we don't have little kids, but for anyone that's on the live that does, people like to take their kids to the good neighborhoods to get the good candy.
Mm-hmm.
What does that even mean? The good neighborhoods to get good candy? You're busing people into neighborhoods to get
Well,
candy?
you're less likely to get harmed.
I guess.
There was no, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's the product or the byproduct of things that have changed now, is because now you're having to weigh your own personal safety.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even in terms of trick or treat, okay, there might have been like one story where somebody took a razor blade and stuck it in an apple.
Remember that?
Now you have to worry about can you go to the trick or treating, or I'm sorry, the trunk or treats at the local church, because you have to be concerned about people putting fentanyl in the gummy bears.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what type of society have we come to where we've actually changed from what used to be to what it is now?
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough.
So,
well, like I said, pose the question. We've got people that have dialed in. I'm looking to see everybody that's on right now.
Punishment.
um,
Oh, okay. It cut off, Sabrina. I was trying to read it. I was trying to read it because she's one of the troopers.
I'm trying to see if I can hit the see more. Yeah, you can see a little bit more if you hit the see more at the very bottom.
Okay. Okay. Well, again,
Yeah.
I'm challenged. I'm challenged. I'm tapping out.
You're also older, but
I,
that's okay.
I,
Yes.
I am. But again,
Yes.
the only challenge about this is what I was basically saying is that, again, now you have several different worlds, coming together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
The other part about it is that maybe parts of your life that you want to remain hidden are now exposed. So
Absolutely.
if I want to be a bad guy down here in Columbus, Georgia, you just proved that I can't be.
Well, the one thing that I think I could say with all certainty is the person I met first day, second grade, 1976, Mr. McCarty's class, walking and talking that mess with Sam Lamar behind, well, right next to you, you and your buddy Sam. The guy that I met that day is the same guy that I know today. I could say with no, hesitation that because I knew your parents, how you were raised and your moral compass, your integrity, doesn't mean your character can be a little shaky, but overall, you're that guy. You're him.
But it comes.
So no, you wouldn't go to Georgia and change
But I
anything.
know I'm not.
You would.
Wouldn't. Because if you changed it, what people don't seem to understand is that even the way that we were raised, and in the environment in which we grew up, you can die. Running your mouth can cause you to get killed. So you
Yeah.
do take some of those things along with you. And then the same thing in terms of, again, living in New York, different places, different experiences, but at the same time, fundamentally, people are people.
Yeah.
So you have to maintain who you are at the core, because if you're not authentic, people will see that. And being
Yeah.
non-authentic can actually get you hurt.
Well, let's go back for a second. One of your brothers was on here talking about brother Tim
Oh,
was talking about Brooklyn. Yeah, Tim Jean was talking about Brooklyn, and I'm thinking, man, I've lived in New York before. I know you live in New York before.
uh-huh.
How do we come from Mayberry, Rialto, to living, someplace, in one of the boroughs?
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't even equate. It doesn't even equate. What do we know? It's just like, for the brothers and sisters that we have that moved from LA into the IE, it's like, okay, we different.
Mm-hmm.
We're different. And if we would uproot and go into LA, we're going to look different. We act different.
But I will give you a secret to that, though.
Mm-hmm.
Having born and raised in California, lived in New
Yep.
York for 10 years, and now down here. The best
Mm-hmm.
way is you need a guide. If somebody from that geographical area accepts you, it makes the transition much easier. It does.
Right.
That's why Tim's popping on here, because he was that guy for me in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as
Mm-hmm.
there's somebody who can help you make that transition, teach you the rules. I mean, one of the things, I worked in a group home, and one of the first things I did was ask my group home kids, what do I not do so I don't get robbed? And they broke it down to me. Don't basically stare at the map. Don't basically have your jewelry out sitting next to the train door. They told me. I mean, the first home visit I went on as a social worker, I had my brand new leather briefcase that I got as a graduation gift. I had my slacks, my church shoes, my tie, and I was all in Brownsville, Brooklyn, the home of Mike Tyson.
Yes.
And somebody threw a milk crate off a 13-story building at me. So then after I finally did the visit, the young man told me, he said, "Mr. Red, don't you ever come to my neighborhood looking like this. He said, man, you throw on your Timbs, your jeans, your hoodie, and a backpack. There's only two types of people who come in my neighborhood dressed like you're dressed right now. The DTs, which I later realized was detectives, or insurance salesmen. So you need to have somebody to help bridge that gap.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You do.
Yeah.
And same thing coming down here to the South. Very different place.
Yeah.
Very different place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you need somebody to help
think,
be that guide.
Yeah, I think that you know, it's not a problem, but it's definitely a product of naivete, having lived in Mayberry. We were so, intertwined with all ethnicities and cultures, and again, for anybody that's watching the live right now that has known us for, since elementary or junior high, whatever, you'll know that even through Eisenhower, we all just kind of loved one another and blah 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 blah. It was really Mayberry, especially elementary school. It was a culture shock going into junior high and seeing the divide, between ethnicities, nationalities. It was different because we all just were together. Kids in elementary just play. Hate is something that is taught. It's taught. It's not something that little kids know. Little kids should see another little kid their age, they want to play. We didn't know. We didn't know anything about it. But it was kind of forced upon us. So by the time we got to a Frisbee or an Eisenhower, we were very understanding and understood thoroughly exactly what was going on, whether we liked it or not. All those great friends we had in elementary, are distant friends. They're just high and by friends and acquaintances by the time we get to Eisenhower. But to say that again, it was Mayberry for us. And you want to believe that the entire world is that way until you do move to a different state. And it's a different situation, especially like you mentioned, the South or that far east, or it's different. It's absolutely different. So, yeah, I'm with you. I mean, again, my husband's from the East Coast, so I hear what you're saying. I understand.
And now it's even more so because, although we try to sometimes make it based on race, maybe race plays a small part, it's economics. It's economics. So the older you get, it's more or less who is in your same socioeconomic class. So it's really so although, we try to sometimes let it, people allow us to think that it's race. No, it's socioeconomics.
Right.
Because if I have a boat in a motorhome and you have a boat in a motorhome, we're getting along well.
Right.
It's only when I have a boat in a motorhome and you don't even have furniture in your house, then that becomes a problem. I'm just being real.
Terrible.
Yes. It's not as much race. It's actually it's the color's green, and it's those who have green and those who don't.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't really matter the color of your skin per se, because that color green trumps everything.
It does. Yes.
It's how much of that green do you actually have?
Show me the money.
You're more than welcome as long as you got that green.
Show me the money.
It's true.
So do you think?
Well, remember we were talking.
So do you think that has actually now even contributed to the change that we see right now? Because again, back in the day there was a culture of we, and now we've entered to a culture of me. I'm trying to get it. So to hell with you.
That's what it is. That is what it is. Ain't that something? I know that I haven't shared this because it just happened yesterday. A really good friend of mine, like a sister to me, just had her car stolen yesterday morning. Changing topic slightly. Just had her car stolen, and I'm sure it happened overnight, so let's just call it the day before. And you would just never think that anything like that would happen or whatever. You don't ever see that coming. She made the comment to me yesterday. She's like, Tanya, I feel like I've been violated, and the bad part was we had got some tips as to where the car was. I'm sure some kids was joyriding, they broke into it, was joyriding, took it all around the city or whatever, tore it up, blah, blah, blah. When we went to go try to find it, somebody else had taken it.
Mm.
So they had left it there with the car
Yeah.
running. Somebody else had seen it and they jumped in and they took it.
Mhm.
So now we know, I have no idea where it's at, blah, blah, blah. And she has no insurance. I mean, I could keep going with this whole conversation last night. What kind of world do we live in right now?
Mhm.
What world do we live in that people don't care? They don't care. Nobody wants to work hard to get the things that they feel like they want or deserve or desire, whatever that is. They'd rather come take yours. It's just easier to come take your stuff.
But also,
Not really caring about how hard I work to get it, or like with her, she's a single woman. For COVID, I mean, I could keep going with all these things, and it's like, what is the deal that you would come and take her stuff? Why are you stealing from somebody else? Why can't you work to get what you need? Why are you stealing?
okay, can I ask? I guess it's more or less a metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it easier for me to criticize you for what you have than for me to look myself in the mirror?
That's way too easy.
It's
Way too easy.
it's much easier
This.
for me to condemn you and talk about you than it is for me to actually take that mirror
Yeah.
and look at the mirror and say, why haven't I made some of the changes that I know I need to make?
But I'm doing this,
Mhm.
right? But these three
Yeah.
fingers are pointing back at me, right? Three fingers at me.
Tanya, sweetie, that's a
Okay.
cliche. That's a cliche. You and I, we know, we've heard it 1,000 times. That's a cliche, but it continues to happen. So, again, that's how your friend's car got stolen. The same way it's easy for me to tear brother Tim down as opposed to saying, what is it that he's doing that maybe he could show me how to do? But it's easier for me to tear him down than look at myself.
Mm-hmm. 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 And then there's also the other side of that, especially within specific community, our community. Very, very obvious that people don't like to give back. People would rather make it and forget about everybody along the road. But those people are hoping that when you make that descent back down, that you're going to see me on your way back down.
Mm-hmm.
Why not give back? You have to give back. You have to be appreciative of where you've come from because that's your foundation. Your foundation is where you came from. And you're building.
Here's the thing, though. And I only preached one sermon in my life, and it was on choice. But it would be nice. It would be nice if people would choose to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to.
Mm-hmm. 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 You're right.
I don't have to.
But it would be nice. It would be nice for anyone when you look around. And I don't just mean financially.
No.
Give back in the manner that you can give back.
Mm-hmm.
When let's just talk about Rialto for half a second, because let me just take a quick peek and see who's on. We've got quite a few people that at least have been through the Rialto, been through Rialto, whatever that are on right now. How many of us have actually been back and stayed for any real length of time or didn't move too far away from? Because that's the difference. Those of us that moved away and those of us that actually stayed in the vicinity.
Well, hey, I'm a social worker, so I couldn't afford to go back to Rialto right now. I couldn't afford to go back to California right now. All I'm saying to you, I mean, I'm just being real. I couldn't afford to. But all I'm saying is that, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So, I mean, I can just cheer on those who I see who are doing things like Joe Baca. I could just cheer on those who are still there, still committed to helping others. But no, I mean, it's why?
You want to.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is that, for me, I think that, wherever you are, just like, a minister says, for those people who don't have a church home, you're maybe here for school and you want to make this your church home. So you start to sow into where you are. So I'm actually here in Columbus, Georgia. I sow into Columbus, Georgia. That's where I am right now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I think the scary part about it is I've had people that are still in the vicinity of the Rialtos, the IE, blah, 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 that still live there that have said to you, don't come back. It's not what you remember.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come back. Just stay away. And that's bad. That's horrible. the idyllic community that we lived in, again, the Mayberry that we lived in, is no longer that. That is a faint memory, and that's a
Did it?
shame.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and what more can I do?
I know. I know.
I don't want to just cut a check, is what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
There's a reason why I have the Eisenhower Group, even if I haven't figured it out all together. There's a reason for that group. There's the sense of not just community, but there's a sense of understanding that all of us have. We went through those hallowed halls. All of us at some point, we walked those halls and those classrooms, no matter what the age is. So I feel a sense of wanting to do, and that's my way of giving back.
Mm-hmm.
May seem minuscule to somebody, but I want to be able to give back,
But
and I want to be.
But who am I to judge in terms of what's minuscule and not? That's why, again, I go back to saying, instead of saying, let me congratulate you for what you were able to do because you made a choice to do, but yet I want to criticize you for it.
But you know, that's a misery loves company, Chuck. Misery loves company.
But I mean, that's at the core of what I'm saying. That's at the core. If we're going to turn this around, then we need to basically, like the whole man in the mirror thing, we need to look ourselves in the mirror. So if you're not going to say anything about somebody who is doing something, shut up.
I agree.
Don't say nothing. Or
I agree.
look at yourself and say, how can I either help you do what you're doing to move your purpose further ahead? How can I assist you then? Even if I'm not the one who comes up with the idea, how can I assist you?
Well, remember what we talked about earlier. Even before joining this live, we talked about the scale, right? You know, the doers, right? And if you're at a 5, you know, but yet I'm a 9, misery loves company. No one wants to see you more successful than them, or no one wants to see their failures while they look at you.
Yeah.
Because we all had the same potential. We all grew up together. None of us were any better than the other person.
No.
Make yourself feel better.
You know, for those who actually had the opportunity to play sports, that's one of the great teachers of sports, is that you realize, unless you're doing an individual sport like track and field or swimming, if you're involved in any type of team sport, you realize quickly you cannot do it alone. And it takes everybody on that team to actually make the team. And it's even funny though, because I was just saying this. One of the things that this is probably psychology 101, but one of the things that actually will always bring a team together is a fight. Now, I'm not advocating violence. However, I will tell you.
Hold it.
If teams are having a problem internally, they will band together and go against another team if they even feel that their teammates is being threatened or attacked or etc.
Absolutely.
So
even someone that you fought, someone you literally fought that is on the same team as you, when you band up against it's band of brothers, right?
Yes.
You band up against somebody else, or we're all fighting. Even if I don't like you, we're still all going to join in. Yeah, I agree.
And that's what I missed. To be honest with you, that's what I missed the most about sports. It wasn't about. I mean, I can might be able to tell you, the intricate details of the game. I mean, I may or may not remember that. What I would tell you is the camaraderie.
Yes.
That even now, in your 50s, you could still get on Facebook. I could hit any one of my brothers and say, "Hey, I need help," and they'll help, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And we might have only spent 1 or 2 or 3 years together.
Yeah, but let's go back to what I had said to you earlier, which is what you projected, what people perceive of your character, your personality. That stands the test of time. It stood the test of time. So for you to say, like Solis is on right now, and again, we've known Solis since Frisbee.
Yep.
So if something was going down, I know I could reach out and say, brother, I need you, and you would be there. Can't say that about a lot of people. Just keep. So yeah, I absolutely agree. Absolutely. So things to think about. I think I asked you a question the other day about legacy and what you want it to be, or what or are you even concerned about what your legacy will be when you walk away?
Not at all. Not at all. And the reason why I say not at all, because like I said, it each one of us paid a price to be who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because it can change from minute to minute.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
That's
just
fair.
committed to being a better person tomorrow than I was today, and a
Mm-hmm.
better person the day after than um worried about legacy. I would just like to believe that I treated people right, and
Mm-hmm.
that even if we disagreed, they knew that I wasn't trying to hurt them.
Right.
Yeah, because that's my motto. If I can't help you, I'm certainly not going to hurt you.
Absolutely.
That's the that's my own personal just motto. If I can't help, because I can't help everybody,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to do anything to hurt you either.
Absolutely.
So as long as
Absolutely.
pretty much I'm able to convey that, I guess that would be my legacy, if there was
Mm-hmm.
such a thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that's important because, especially as we age, now that we're getting older, and you hope that with age comes some wisdom, right? Um, what do I want people to remember about me? Um, I don't know if I could actually answer that question, because I feel like, I know who I am, and there's certain people that are very close in my inner circle, like you. You know who I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's what is it that I've projected? We've had hey Patty, I see you just joined, sweetheart. Hey Nikki, see you just joined as well. Good to see you, ladies. One of the things that I'm not the most proudest of is my youth and my shenanigans, my attitude, my mentality, just being young and naive, and having way too many things to say. I had way too much conversation in my youth that I've had to now in my adulthood go back and apologize for.
Mm.
There's nothing very cute or pretty about the attitude that I had in as far back as elementary. Let's put it this way. I was in summer school in third grade. Summer school, third grade. You hear me?
I was too.
Because I ran my mouth. Well, but we were there for different reasons. I was in summer school third grade because I ran my mouth too much. Uh-oh. I hear grandbabies.
Oh
Uh-oh.
yeah, oh yeah.
Grandbaby
He's
got something to say.
he's in.
But the point I wanted to make real quick is summer school third grade, and the teacher said then, my summer school teacher said then to my dad, "You guys better talk to your daughter because she keeps being disruptive and interrupting in class. I had too much to say, too much of an opinion, and needed to just shut my mouth." Unfortunately, the difference between my dad and my mom was that my mom just told my dad, "Hey, just let her work through it, and she'll figure it out," and blah, 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 blah. And that wasn't the case per se. It took me into my adulthood to really get a hold of that and understand how that looked, how the world was perceiving me. Nikki, if you're on, oh, Nikki, good, 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 good. I'm so glad you're here. Nikki to me is well, a couple of people, I guess, that are probably on the live. Let me just take another quick peek here. Okay, great. Charlie, you probably, well, you might be able to kind of chime in, but I know for a fact what I projected was someone that had, like I said, a great deal to say, a really big, overbearing attitude, right? Don't know the why, but I did. And again, I'm embarrassed
You
about that.
were
I'm
deep.
embarrassed that I came off like that.
You were deep in what's happening. Can you
Can't
hear
hear
me?
you, brother.
You can't hear me?
Can't hear you.
Oh, okay. How
It's
about
a
now?
speaker thing. I can't hear
How
you.
about now? You can you hear me now? I don't know why they just actually stopped.
Let me ask you, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay, I can't hear you. Let's try it again.
Okay. You were deep in what's happening. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can't hear you. Are you on
No.
mute?
No.
Hmm.
Okay.
If you got an earbud, you may want to put that in because I can't hear you.
How about now?
Or drop off, come back in.
Okay. I'll have to do that.
Okay. We'll have Chuck join us again. So, hey, thank you, everybody that's actually on right now. Appreciate you so much. Chuck, you with me?
Yeah.
I still can't hear
Still
you.
can't
Bro.
hear me?
That's weird. But you said you can hear me?
Barely. I guess maybe it's a time thing. So it's basically telling me that it's time for me to go. It's time for me to go. Still can't hear me, huh?
Man, Chuck, we were having a good conversation. What happened?
I don't know.
Hey, Cheryl. Chuck, let me see. If I dipped, I think it's going to end the live, and I don't want to do that. I'm wondering if because my phone rang, so I'm wondering if that's part of the issue. Talking. Well, here's the question: ask the people if they can hear you. That might be helpful.
Gary said he hears me, so maybe you're the only one who can't. Okay, cuz. See, Cheryl said so I guess you're probably the only one who couldn't hear me, Ty. But hey, one thing in life, I think we've all experienced this. Um, sometimes you can stay a tad bit too, and so maybe that's a sign that it's time for me to go. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you because I put my earbuds in,
Okay.
so I got the Bluetooth going.
So hey, maybe at 9:23, maybe it's time for we had a good conversation. I guess like we let the world in, and again, a lot of these people I haven't heard from in a long time. I mean, I love them dearly. I mean, they know that we've been through some things together. So it's
Well,
always a
you're
pleasure.
getting a request to stay. You're getting a request to stay, so I guess you have to stay for a little bit longer.
Still, wisdom, wisdom. I'm
Oh my
short,
gosh. Well,
but I'm
listen, for
wise.
those that are on, you're something.
Yeah.
For those that are on, do you want to kind of let them know what's going on with us? Let them know what the thought process is. Again, we're
Roger.
just catching everybody up.
Oh yeah, no, this is just
You know,
basically just again, this is just you and I we constantly have these intellectual debate conversations and we just put it out there and yeah, she is having a I'll be back moment, and so we just pretty much decided just to share this with the world and again it's wide open, so we kind of flow from topic to topic, and so this is just a normal conversation for us that we're allowing other people to kind of be a fly on the wall. So that was pretty much the reason behind this, because otherwise everybody knows, and most people know me, I don't really do stuff like this. So you convinced me to, and I think we had a pretty good time tonight. So we'll do it again.
I don't know what the frequency is going to be to this, but to anybody that's still kind of paying attention, he says the color's changing. Is he talking about me or you? Uh-oh.
That's that's
Look, wonder if that's me.
that's Tim. Yeah, that's Tim. If anybody knows, that's Tim. That's Tim G.
Oh, that's Tim acting up? Okay, I
That's
just
Tim.
want to make sure.
Yeah.
Tim, I'm going to remember that for next time. Tim, matter of fact, we're going to have you join the next time, just for that. So I will remember that. But I don't know what kind of frequency we're going to have with this. I know we haven't really talked about how often we'll probably do this, but just letting the good people know that are tuning in. Hey, Gloria Jeffries, just seeing you, sis. Long time no see. Good to see you, sweetheart. We'll do it again, like you said. and maybe we'll have more structure to it the next time we do it, or maybe not. Maybe we'll just keep it as a free for all and da da da. But it's good to have people come in and join and just check in with us as we check in with
With them.
each other. So there you go.
Yeah, but today we're just doing a sound check, and it turned out to be a wonderful event. And we're just doing a
Absolutely.
sound check. So,
Absolutely.
hey,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Please make sure y'all come back and check us out. Again, if you just kind of see me on live, that means that I'm up here with Chuck. I'm not just on here by myself. So please make sure that you check in when we check in. So to my PB&J, as always.
all right, PB and
To
J.
everybody else, love y'all. We love y'all. We'll see y'all soon.
All right, lay you now.